Hello, everybody, and welcome to today's edition of Beyond the Ordinary Show. And today we have oh God, what do I even say? The benefit, the privilege, the open-heartedness of Cathleena Hailley that's joining us today. And she's going to be talking about embodying the Hieros Gamos and clearing the human influence. And I love this topic because there's so much that I am experiencing in this over the last year. And I get that it's an evolving process. It's like something opened and it stopped there. There's a flow to it. There's an intelligence that's building. There's a seeding that's taking place as we breathe it in, hold it, embody it as our own, and then release for the next phase of it. And Cathleena, excuse me, is just such a beautiful embodiment and teacher of what we're stepping into. So it's going to be an amazing call today. Kathleen is going to take live Q&A. So if you want to ask your personal question and perhaps get a channeled message, this is your opportunity to do so. And I have to mention up front, Kathleena's special offer, it includes a one-on-one session, which I highly recommend. April, sign up for mine right now, please. If you'll go ahead and purchase it. Maybe someone else purchased before me, I don't know, but I want to get on the calendar quickly, as I'm assuming some of y'all may want to as well. So the link's in the chat box if you want to go there now, buy your session, but we'll get deeper into the special offer a little bit later. So no worries about any of that. And to tell you a little bit more about Cathleena, you know what? She's an embodiment of the divine feminine who works with a council of 9 collectives, and in particular, Jesus, Metatron, and other ascended masters. And rather than going into telling you my experience with her, I'd really love it if Cathleena, again, welcome to the show, but I'd love it if you would share with everybody listening today and on the replay how your work is unfolding now, because there's so many shifts happening so quickly that to read from a bio that makes sense, I just feel like I'd be leaving something out.
Yeah, sure. Well, I carry the 0 point for all frequencies, and kind of what that means so I don't just arbitrarily talk to a person. I'm actually in their energy when I'm speaking to them, and so things are shifting and changing and so on within their body, their chemistry, so on when I'm stepping into their energy. I have the ability to see the original blueprint, and I carry the original blueprint of the human experience as well as the earth experience. What I'm here for and what I'm able to do is to basically unwind all that is not you, so that you can see what is you, and to be able to show up, in that most amazing way. And it's through all different dimensional fields. It's through I'm really everything frequency. That's kind of what it is. It's all through all kinds of different frequencies, and I have a great knowledge of the quantum field and how things work together. So,
and you work with certain collectives. Why don't you tell us a little bit more about those and how you actually came to bring them in?
yeah. Well, it's kind of interesting because at this point I really am working just so directly as source and with source. But definitely the Council of Nine. The Council of Nine are just like light beings, and I had a lot of communication with them early on. And of course, Yeshua, Jesus, and Mary Magdalene, and the Divine Feminine Collective. I have a lot of lineage with a lot of these collectives and the Arcturians, Andromedans, and so on, because I've just had lots of lifetimes and lots of knowledge in terms of, the human, this whole paradigm, that's going on here. So I came into the world. I always say I came into the world on, and so I had experiences very early on of well, the very first experience actually was hearing my parents speak, and then hearing their thoughts, and it was different, and feeling their emotions, and it was different from that. And so that was kind of my awareness of recognizing, as the frequency alchemist aspect of myself, and carrying the 0 point. And I had very early on in meditation, I learned transcendental meditation when I was 6. And so as I was meditating, and I didn't realize this till later in life, but there were two individuals that sat with me. And I realized later it was Yeshua and Mary Magdalene. And we would hold hands, and then they would take me deeper, and they took me to the Akashic records. And that's where I saw the Arcturians, Andromedans, and so on, and began to kind of connect. Didn't realize who they were young, but, I feel like these collectives have kind of always been with me and, been sharing with me. And I think what we'll learn, and it's certainly if you work with me and you begin to, have a greater, I love the word understanding of how I work and how things work, you'll recognize that through your emotions, through your emotional expressions and how they show up, those emotional expressions are indeed your lineage, your galactic lineage, your connection, because each one of these types of collectives and lineage and so on carry a certain frequency which we would identify as emotions and certain emotional expression. So that's also how I've identified, and that's also how I can identify when working with people, different collectives and things. If I know the names, I don't always know the names, but I can I can certainly feel different groups that work.
You can feel different groups. That's wonderful, and I love how you speak so openly and freely about your awareness of this. And for me, that's also part of what's happening and what's evolving in all of us as we connect more and we embody more that remembering and that knowing. And before we get on the call, you talked about a retreat you just come back and you talked a little bit about the embodiment process and what that means for you and what it is that you're embodying. And I'd love it if you can share that with the audience, because I think it's that awareness in itself and having the understanding of what we're integrating from that aspect is powerfully a catalyst for how we step in and what we do with that stepping in.
Yeah, well, what I was describing is, of course, there's a lot of portals that are open. There's a lot of plasmic fields that are happening. And so over the solstice, I was on a retreat in Colorado and some very powerful land. Of course, all the land, or many, many aspects of the land, are activating and connecting and so on now. And really, this embodiment process, or the process that I'm personally experiencing, is the unwinding or the releasing of all that is not you, so that you can really experience what is you. And that's really what it is. And so it's being able to kind of in your day-to-day be in the now moment and be able to be you. That's kind of simplistically what the energy is really doing. And because I say that we don't really learn things, we actually remove all the things that are in the way from us knowing what we already know, because all knowledge is here. And that is what the process is. And that was my personal process as well, is being able to kind of dive deep within your own awareness. And that awareness is really it's absolutely getting to know yourself, and it's getting to know yourself from an emotional perspective. What are you feeling? What are your actual emotions? And as you get to know those, I mean, the unwinding process is immense. And
it's beautiful.
Yeah,
it's beautiful. And from the bigness perspective of embodiment, we've called it, we're embodying source. We're becoming at one. And I love how you brought into the layer of the individual and how we're connecting and embodying more to our oversoul, like we haven't before, and we're bringing the oversoul down into the human vehicle.
Well, and actually, I would describe that a little bit differently, in that yes, in essence, we're bringing it in, but in truth, what we're doing is, as we continue to release out all that no longer is us, we realize that we are this giant oversoul. There's this infinite connectedness through the cellular body that is all automatically connected, and it's this illusion that I'm separate. So what we're doing is we're releasing the illusions of the separateness, which is that the illusions of the physicality. That's why you'll hear a lot, and I say it a lot, that I'm you, you're me, we're one. So law of one, it's that true. So it's really, as we continue to recognize and remember that we are pure source consciousness, right? We are that light. And as we do, that frequency then is engaging with this carbon DNA, which is vibrating at the denser rate. And as that continues to release, then there is this awareness of us as the giant oversoul. Really is really the more, because of course the body is within us, right? We are not really within the body, and that's the
Absolutely.
ascension, right? The ascension is the body's ascending. We're not. So
The expansion into the infiniteness that we are. Yes, it's
yeah,
beautiful.
absolutely.
And again, you hold it with such simplicity. It's again, it just is. There's no air about it. There's no control or power. There's just a flow that emanates
Yeah, that's beautiful.
from that place of being, right?
Absolutely, absolutely, because that's who we are.
And so why this conversation of Hieros Gamos today? What is coming up in of your awareness and perhaps a deeper understanding or a clarification of what we're unifying through that?
Yeah. Well, I think it's profound. I think that it's one of the most important aspects of our beingness. I mean, there's so many layers that are coming through. Um, I think, well, I mean, there's just so many layers that are coming through. So from a pure creator creation perspective, we are creator beings, and literally how we create is through thought and emotion. So the thought is the masculine mental aspect of your creation, and the emotion is the feminine spiritual creator creation itself. And so you've got your thought and your emotion coming together, and every single thought comes out of your head as a geometric shape. And when you hold that thought 14 seconds or longer and give it an emotion, it creates a frequency, which then, moves into the unified field and ends up in your reality. So just from a pure creation perspective, it's super important to have the balance of the masculine and feminine, because without that, you don't have a balance of what you're creating. And of course, that is within, without, everywhere. The balance of the Hieros Gamos, and talk about human existence. What I just described, I mean, we need the masculine and feminine together, right? Because it's the blueprint, and then the emotion gives the creation. Without, with the masculine only, no feminine aspect to it, there's no creation to it. It simply is a finite structure, which is what we're seeing now. With just the emotion, there's no structure to it, so it's way too fluid. There's nothing that can get created, so we need both. So also then within our human, physicality, we've been so guided into separation, even if I'm a woman, you're a man, but we're both internally. And without, we have to recognize that because we're all one, there's no separation in anything. So if I don't have a balance, just say from my humanness, right, as a woman, if I don't have a balance with men, then I don't have a balance internally, then I don't have a balance with my creations, with my creation of self, with my creation of being, with everything we said, even talking about from the retreat, of being, of actually knowing who I am, and of having a sense of presence. That's how profound this is, and of course it has many, many, many different layers, but
How do you
there's a
help
lot.
your clients balance that or bring that into an awareness where they can actually start creating from that place?
Yeah. Well, because I carry the 0 point, and as I'm speaking in the 0 point right now, and I always say that, 99, if not 100% of communication is manipulation. And that means that I'm not just saying something, I'm trying to put something in you or take something out of you. And so, that's not in the neutrality. So it's really coming from that place of neutrality, that 0 point, because the 0 point is the place of no thing and all possibilities. It is the place where you are your multidimensional self. So that's what sort of my essence is representing. And so I provide that, to drop into that 0 point, which then allows for immediately your consciousness, to begin to disengage, because, when you talk about a bigger level, right, where consciousness having an experience, the idea of quantum entanglement is when I forget that I'm that and I become something. So that becoming, it gets to disengage, and then we have that opportunity, right, to release it, to let go. So to simplify this for those that this maybe, that they don't have a greater understanding, it's just really an opportunity for you to let go and then start as you, like a brand new, truly a brand new, as the witnessing observer of what happens to be around you, instead of attaching to it and becoming it all the time.
That's wonderful. And then from there, the nervous system adjusts also. It's like we start getting into a different way of relating to circumstances rather than thinking that we have to change the circumstances around us. And that's huge in our world right now.
Yeah,
Um,
absolutely. Well, and interesting what you just said, of course, because what happens is the difference between what I call is the false neutrality or sort of the false 0 point and the
mm,
authentic is the false is when you're in your head, and that's when you talk about the nervous system, all that's the thoughts and so on. But when you drop into your heart is when, of course, you're in that 0 point, and that's when you're in the no thing and the all possibilities, and that's when you can become the witnessing observer. And in that space, all of that fight or flight and all that is not engaged, because you're literally free. You literally are, because we are free, but you're there can be a feeling of it,
mm.
that exists.
I have to ask you, and I don't know why this is coming up. It's with all the work that you do with the different clients all over the world, what's your favorite part of it? Like, what's like your passion that you just love sharing, and there's this
Yeah.
buoyancy that just evolves.
Yeah. Um, I guess I just really love to feel the expression as individuals step into who they are.
Mm,
It's a beautiful expression, and I get to feel it because I'm one with it. And so being in that 0 point and being one on one in this way, I mean, it's so much grander than just, even standing in the presence of a person where we think we're looking across. I mean, you really are literally embodied in one with that and in that heart, and it's an amazing expression, and I love it. I
yeah.
can feel it with everybody here. I mean, there's so much energy even here right now. The second I started to speak, as you asked a question, I felt the surge of, just all of the love and the support, and it's just a beautiful light. So I love that. That's absolutely my passion.
Why don't we start getting into Q&A? I'm so excited just to start
Yeah,
opening up. So
go for
if,
it.
if y'all have questions, let's just start raising your hands, and we're going to start diving in today. This is going to be great. So, all
Absolutely.
right, so I'm promoting some of y'all to panelists now, and it's going to take just a few minutes. But as we do that, April, if you wouldn't mind putting the special offer link in the chat box. And again, I mentioned earlier that the special offer includes a one-on-one. But again, we'll go through in detail what's being offered in the special offer in a few minutes. And we'll just open up some of the people that are coming in here. And again, if I promote it, let's get you guys to turn on your videos as well. And we'll get started here. So let's start with Lorena. Welcome to the show. If I can get you to unmute, please, and ask Cathleena your question.
Hi, Kathleen.
Hi, how you doing?
I'm good. So my question is just about the separateness I've always felt from me and everybody and everything. I've just never felt a connection to something like you're speaking about. And I did sign up for your class. I mean, for your,
Mm-hmm.
so I'm excited.
Wonderful. So the question is,
Well, I guess it's, I guess I would just like you to speak a little bit more about that separateness that you're talking about and about.
mhm. Well, what I feel with you right away, of course, if we feel separateness from everybody, we're really separate from ourselves, and that's really what it is. It's like I don't have an identification of self, and that's what I really feel. I feel in your heart, that there's some fear, there's some disconnect. It's a lot of dialogue, a lot of worthiness programs, a lot of different things going on. Um, if you want, I can step into the energy, and we can, do a little bit of a shift with this.
Oh, I
Um,
would love
yeah, and we'll just, kind of move this because I'm sure everybody here can benefit from this as well. So yeah. So John, we're going to step into the energy here for a minute. Okay, so
Beautiful.
if you guys want to close your eyes, just close your eyes and take some nice deep breaths. I'm just going to step in. Just take a really big breath. I'm just reconnecting the heart, it's the high heart, to actually the throat, to give you a connection of how you're voicing yourself, but also your, there you go, your voice. Take a bigger breath. That's great. And I'm going to bring in a field, a very thick plasmic field of pure source light. And I'm just going to bring this around everyone so we're supported in this. And we're just going to sink into this. It's like a plasmic light, like gel. There you go. And so we're going to allow for that fight or flight, victim-victimizer frequencies, and worthiness programs to disengage. Past, present, and future in all space-time continuum. Just take a really big breath. There you go. It is safe to be me. It is safe to be free. I am that I am. Great. Okay. Ooh. How do you feel?
Good. Thank you. I could feel it. It just like the energy just like totally overwhelmed me. Thank you so much.
That's going to continue, but we're going to do more. So I just, was letting that be with you. So
Thank you.
I felt a lot. You're welcome. You're welcome. Look forward to seeing you.
Me too.
Thank you.
So Lorena, I had a question. How does your heart feel after that? Because obviously you got emotional.
Yeah.
Like what are you experiencing right now? And if you can unmute, that'd be wonderful. There you go.
Yeah.
What am I feeling? Almost but
Yeah, it's okay. There's a lot. You're going to have a lot, and you're tremendously supported, and there's going to be a lot more. It's beautiful.
Thank you.
There you go. There you go. It wanted a deeper acknowledgement, just presence, just a little bit.
Yeah.
All right, Lorena, blessings to you. Thanks for calling in.
It's just overwhelming what I'm feeling. I can't put it in words.
You don't have to. You don't have to.
Yeah.
Beautiful.
Thank you.
Thanks for calling in.
Welcome.
Thank you.
Wonderful.
Beautiful.
All right, let's go to our next caller. Where'd you go? Larry, let's get you to unmute. Welcome to the call.
All right, there I am. Thank you. Thank you very much. I'm always working on myself, trying to be the best I can be. So I'm just wondering what is best for me to know at this time to help me be all that I can be?
That you are already all that you can be, and that all you have to do is believe it and step into it. I think it's the same, a little bit of that separation. It's the illusion that I'm separate, that I'm not already there. You are. And when we have a knowingness and you let go, and I actually want to shift this energy with you as well, because I can feel it a lot. And what I'm feeling is a lot around your head and around you. So we're going to just take that and move that away. Okay.
All right. Thank you.
Sure. So if you can all close your eyes again, we'll move this energy. Just take some nice deep breaths. I'm just gonna expand your field a bit more, because this is really, really close to your field. Just take some deep breaths. We're gonna release any and all 5G sonic frequencies, past, present, and future, in all space-time continuum. I'm gonna disengage in the various chakra systems, any and all worthiness programs, fight or flight, victim-victimizer frequencies, holographic inserts, Take a deep breath. Gama as ashutu is adadash go makas is hukon os gat shuko samatachi shisatoto. Chukos shikoma asas dadash asakash asapaksh bas. I'm going to open your crown. And I'm also going to open your third eye. And I'm going to call in your higher self in direct communication. I'm going to drop that into your heart. Great. Ooh. Okay.
All right, Larry, welcome back.
How are you feeling?
Thank you. Well, I felt the pressures and stuff when you said you opened my third eye and stuff. And as far as bringing my higher self into my heart, it's something, geez, just about ready to cry, but
Yeah.
it's something that that I've wanted and been asking for, to have a really good connection with my higher self. So
Yeah.
I just thank you very much.
Yeah,
Appreciate it.
Beautiful. Absolutely. Allow.
Thank you, Larry.
Thank you, Larry.
Thank you.
Yeah, beautiful breath.
Beautiful.
Oh, I want to ask you a question, but I don't want to take you into your mind.
I'm okay. I'm okay if you want to.
Yeah, if I can get you to answer from your heart,
Mm.
you know, that place of truth. It's like, what do you want to become that you're not now?
Yeah.
Just open and free and loving. That's what comes to me.
Are you that already?
Well, I've been holding myself back for different reasons, so
Yeah.
I'm hoping this will bring me forward.
Are there emotions that come up sometimes of confusion or anger or sadness that prevent you from doing that?
Confusion, yes. Just from information I've taken in and believed and relied upon. So I'm trying to get rid of all that and just be my authentic self.
And what if all that was perfect for you remembering who you are? What if none of it is wrong? What if the confusion, the sadness, the loneliness, the or whatever, anything that we would consider dense energy was just part of the passage rather than something that was an obstacle?
Okay. All right. I can thank it for who I am now.
And be in your heart, right?
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, from that place right there.
Okay.
And I love that Kathleen is helping to move this. I knew we had to go deeper into it.
Okay.
Yeah, well,
So-
we're removing. So if you imagine like little particles just sort of floating out of your head,
Okay.
just like dirt, you just allow that to go.
Okay. Okay.
And it's just stories. Yeah.
Okay.
Within these programs. Yeah.
I love this tag team happening right now. This is awesome. This is awesome because we're bringing it, you know, I'm helping bring it to the surface, and Kathleen is just there like sweeping it up, loosening up those particles, easing your heart.
Yeah.
Right.
Allow for the emotions, you know, allow for all the emotions. They're all going to come up because it's only that we're, you know, taking in this information into ourselves and then we're holding it. What if we just let it go? As we become the witnessing observer of it, right? If we just notice it, not judge it, you know, no judgment, but just allow it, you know, and get curious with yourself. Like, why would I hide? Why would I be curious? Not in judgment, but more curious. What's that about? Why am I doing that? That's interesting, you know, like that. I'm curious. Where's that coming from? And love him.
Okay. Okay.
About that.
Right.
Yeah, it's
Okay.
beautiful.
All right, Larry. Thanks for calling in.
Thank Kathleen.
Blessings too.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Blessing.
All right, y'all, we're gonna get into special offer in a bit. I'm gonna choose someone else here in a little bit. Now, I was gonna ask a question, but I forgot what it was, so I'm just gonna take the next caller. That's just the kind of state I'm in right now. All right, let's go now to Peg, with that beautiful smile over there. Welcome to the call.
Oh, thank you for choosing me, John. It's wonderful to be here again. Okay, so about a week and a half ago, I had a very interesting experience with the back of my neck. I instantly became dizzy, very severe headache, nauseous, out of balance, and it happened in a split second. And simultaneously to that, I knew I was like, standing together with myself. My higher self was just witnessing it, coaching it, honoring it, telling me that the core issue that kept coming up is, I kept calling out like, where are my guides? Come on, I need help. And I need it now. Where are you? Where are you? Well, of course, that's the idea of separation, which you have well identified. And I thought, wow, I thought I've dealt with that, but I really went into the muck with it. So my question to you is, it took me about 24 hours to really pull out of the intense part. Some of it was physical misalignment. So I did go to my chiropractor.
Mm-hmm.
But there's still residues there. So can you identify and help me to move the rest of it through?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you can see, I mean, it's definitely coming through the third eye, and I can feel it down through the back of the heart. And I think it's just, there's definitely there's some fear mechanisms, but there's something that's definitely hooked in through there that I can see that I'm looking at. So we can step in and take a look at that. I feel like that there's something definitely wanting to move through the spine, and I think this will definitely be beneficial for everyone. And I mean, it'll be beneficial for you. Of course, I'll take you deeper into it, but for everyone, because it's related to standing on your own, standing up for yourself, standing where you are, standing in your sense of presence. That's really what I feel, and it's definitely kind of moving through the spine. So if you'd like, we can step into that.
That would be beautiful. Thank you.
Okay. So if everyone wants to close their eyes and take some deep breaths, you want to close your eyes, I'll step into this. Take a really big breath. Actually working on the back of the heart. This feels like the back of the body is how we're affected by the world, so there's a lot of protection. So I'm just going to continue to clear this a little bit. Taking a deep breath. Again, it's worthiness programs. We're going to release any and all worthiness programs and what we would say safety. So it is safe to be me. It is safe to be free. I'm going to drop you into the 0 point. Allow for that presence out of the head. I'm going to disconnect those cords that are trying to take your third eye basically to the brain instead of the heart. Just going to disconnect that pathway. There you go. Take a deep breath. I'm going to expand your energy. I'm going to expand the energy around your head, around your body. Keep allowing a little bit more. I'm going to expand this energy a bit more. Take a nice deep breath. Go. There we go. That's good. Take a really big breath. It's going to take a little bit more. It's like protection. You know, it's holding on, a little bit of holding on. I'm going to take out the limits, limitations, judgments. That's good. Nice deep breath. Yeah, I'm going to take out the fear of the unknown. All fear of the unknown. There we go. Fear of stepping up. Fear of showing up. There we go. There we go. We're going to release this past, present, and future, and all space-time continuum. We're going to close all portals, gateways, pathways, meridians, stargates, wormholes of any siphoning of my energy, past, present, and future, and all space-time continuum, in all dimensional fields. There we go. Good. Okay. Ooh. All right, Peg, how are you feeling?
Oh, very different. The last part you did, actually, I felt my left kidney jiggle, so it was working all the way down into that,
Yeah.
which I didn't think was associated with all of this, but everything you identified with, a fear of stepping forward and showing my true self, and especially the back of the heart. Yeah, there's a definite protection. It's been in place for probably 14,000 eons.
Yeah.
So thank you so much. This is very beautiful and very helpful. And I can tell I need to go lay down. This is a lot of work.
Yeah. A lot of energy there. You're a beautiful soul. So it's, yeah, just a lot being moved. It's all just ready.
Yeah, it was ready. Thank you. I appreciate that a lot.
Yeah, you're welcome.
All right, Peg, thanks for being on the call.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Kathleen, I see so many people reacting on that are on video right now to the energies that are running through. What's happening that you're aware of in this collective field?
Yeah, well, I think it's all, there's just this tremendous amount of awakening and coming forward more. There's a lot of energetics about worthiness programs, fear of showing up, uncertainty, but there's so much excitement too, because there's a knowing, we all really do know who we are on some very deep level. We know that we're source consciousness. We know that life is meant to be fun and exciting and so on. And so that's what I'm feeling. I'm feeling all of the energies coming forward of the confusion, the sadness, and there's this great excitement about stepping into that to release that. And that's really what I'm feeling, is shifting and moving. And it's very, very beautiful in this quantum field that we're working in right now. And I feel so much love and connectedness, and I also feel, all of the confusion, the sadness, the so on. And so it's very exciting to be in this shifting at these levels, because we are one, as we know, right? So when we're shifting one, we're shifting all, and it's all just about frequencies and energy. So that's what I'm experiencing in this field. I can feel.
I love it. I love what's coming through for all of us here.
Yeah.
All right, Kathleen, I think it's time to go into your special offer. I really want to get into what people are going to receive when they participate. So everybody, the link for the special offer is in the chat box. Most of y'all know where to find it now. Just go to the bottom of your screen on Zoom, click on the chat box, and it'll provide you the link. And just click on that to follow along with Kathleen, as she's going to give you more detailed information about what you're going to receive. And if for any reason you can't find the chat box or the link, just open up a new browser and type in beyondtheordinaryshow.com/Cathleena and the number 28. So Cathleena 28, and it'll take you to that same page. And Cathleena, if you would guide us through this gift that you're providing us today.
Yeah, so this is, well, it's actually part one, I guess, of the series of the Hieros Gamos, embodying the Hieros Gamos, and it's really going through the body systems, where we're creating the balance between the various different systems of the body, or the, the masculine, feminine aspects of self. So we're, I'd have to really look at, I don't remember exactly the sessions. Do you have, John, what the sessions are written?
I do. We're just two special offers to choose from. So I'll tell you what I'm going to do is I'm going to share my screen and we'll go through this together here.
Yeah.
So give me just a second and we'll all open it up.
Yeah, I haven't looked at that particular in a bit.
And here we go. So again, we have two offers. There's a $97 package, which is the Embodying the Hieros Gamos. And then a private session. So let's get into package A.
Yeah, so the cardiovascular system. So we're working through, so the way in which I work, all of these activations are in the now moment. They're in the 0 point, all of them. And there's kind of a dimensional way in which the activation works. So I channel something that is written, and the written word is also an activation aspect of it. And then I do the physical part of the activation, and then it's also resides deeper within you. So each body system, has a particular functioning for our own, not just as we think of the physicality, but for our energetics, and so creating a balance of this masculine and feminine within those body systems is super important within all the body. So like in this one, I can read it. As you step into the cardiovascular system as the divine neutrality of the Hieros Gamos, we align with the movement of this divine union, therefore establishing the set point of neutrality based on the divine union to occur with the physical experience. And so, it's really just taking you deeper and deeper into how this is playing out in your physical life. So just think of the cardiovascular system too in terms of your heart and your awareness of self. And so being able to bring the Hieros Gamos into balance in that body system, both is how we are allowing it to be out of balance is based on the actual physicality of the body, whether or not you have something physical, but also your emotion and how you're showing up in the world in terms of your heart and your heart-centered. So creating the balance of that masculine and feminine energies, the mental masculine aspect, and then the spiritual feminine aspect within that balanced system allows for you to create from and as your true self, then that is a representation of the cardiovascular system, the life force energy, the life force of the body, so on and so on. And that's how each one of these systems is aligned, and how the activations are working within
Beautiful.
In the systems. Yeah.
And that's week one. Then you go into the digestive system.
Yeah, and the digestive system, of course, is where you've got the sacral, and that area is the emotional body in the physical world. And so, and all of how we are ingesting and digesting and so on, all of our, not just obviously nutrition, but our energy, our life, who we are, how we're doing. And if that's not in balance in, again, the creator creation aspect of self, the masculine and feminine, then what are we doing? How are we ingesting things? And just like, some of the people that I was working with today, it's like those stories of worthiness and so on. That's why they're playing out. But one of the reasons they're playing out is because we're not balanced in that Hieros Gamos. We're not balanced in that divine masculine and feminine, which is in essence that 0 point, that allowing us.
Beautiful. And then we go into the endocrine system.
Yeah, and the endocrine system, of course, is the the system that allows for the well, it's the protector, the provider of your immune system aspect, and also all the hormonal and the balancing within itself. So another aspect, not having that in balance then creates all sorts of distortions, not just within the physical body, but certainly even within your choices, like how you're choosing partnerships or choosing friends or things like that. Having the Hieros Gamos out of balance in that particular system within your body is cycling to how you're picking and choosing, you know, things within your physical world and your physical body. I mean, it's so detailed that it's a little bit hard to bring it down, but you know, I encourage people to really read it and to feel when you're reading it, actually, it's not just reading it too. Even just reading this here, you are engaging in that. There is that first level of shifting that will take place with you, even just reading it, you know, and connecting to it from that level.
Beautiful. And again, we continue. We go into integumentary system. What is this?
Yeah, the integumentary. That is the hair, skin, and nails. And these are all like more the antenna aspect of your you know, spiritual awareness and who you are. So that would be kind of the external, or your connections with your higher self or your oversoul or so on. Again, if that's not in balance with the Hieros Gamos, if you're not in balance, and think about the balance of the Hieros Gamos being the able to be in the 0 point in your heart is kind of the basis of this. So if that's not in balance in this communication system that you're sort of reaching outwardly, so to speak, of this physical body, then that's often, when these are out of balance, this is often where people do much more protecting. That's where they start to pull their energy inward, because they are communicating, they are getting lots of information, but they don't know what to do with it, and they don't, and that information is dialoguing to all sorts of all of the other body systems and all things that are going on inside.
Wow.
So yeah.
And then we get to integrate.
Yeah. And integrate all of them. Yeah, that's the last session, is when we go into the full integration of this particular group of these body systems, to again encourage all of that to come into that full Hieros Gamos balance inside yourself of the masculine and feminine within the heart center. And this is, all of this is really just to give you an opportunity to be in the 0 point, to actually experience and be in the 0 point. I'd say that's sort of the bigger theme of what this Hieros Gamos series are all about. It is the opportunity to experience and be one in and as the 0 point. Because I hear that a lot, like, how do you get to the 0 point? How do you? Well, that's really what it is. It's having that balance. So that's what this overall it will give you. It'll give you an opportunity to experience the 0 point, which is profound, because remember, the 0 point is not zero. It is no thing and all possibilities. And when you are one as and really we say in, but as the 0 point, you are your multidimensional self. You are one with all things at that point. So if you're able to be at that point the witnessing observer of this vehicle, this body, this self, I mean, that's when magic can occur within your being.
Beautiful, beautiful. And you know, that first package is $97. And is this a live course? Is this a pre-recorded course that people are going to receive as a download right away?
No, these are pre-recorded, and all of them are done in the 0 point. So each time, so when you listen to it, it's always in the now moment. And each time you listen to it again, it's new. So it will continue to create shifts and changes for you.
Ah, beautiful. All right, and then package B, y'all, you get a private session with Cathleena, 50 minutes. And Cathleena, what can people expect in the session? Or maybe not, maybe don't come with expectations.
Yeah. Yeah, well, I usually, anybody who's come to sessions with me knows that I always say, so what brings you here? So I will ask you some questions or things like that, but I am sitting in the 0 point with you, so I'm experiencing your energy. It's a lot what I'm able to do here. I'm just doing it a little bit more, you know, not as much individually. So I see what I refer to as the human template, and I carry the original blueprint of the human experience as well as the earth and this universal complex. And so the human template, and I spell it template because there's more than one. So it's like a you know, container, so to speak, of what your consciousness is engaging in order to have a physicality. So I'm able to experience that, and what I'm looking at or experiencing is through all kinds of lifetimes. It's this lifetime, it's your physicality, it's your emotional body, it's also through dimensional fields. So it's just, there's a tremendous amount of information that because I carry all the geometries of all of that, so I'm able to look at all of that and work with it. So a lot happens in a session.
Beautiful. Well, y'all, that 50-minute private session also includes everything in package A. So for $197, you get to access Cathleena one-on-one and the 5 weeks going into the Hieros Gamos and the integration and the expansion into that. There's a 2-payment option on both packages. So first payment today and then the next payment in 30 days, if that makes it easier for you. And a wonderful, wonderful opportunity to work with Cathleena and dive deeper into having a relationship and intimacy with 0 Point, that expansion with that all. So that's wonderful. Cathleena, when people book for their private session, how far are our sessions being booked right now?
I think I'm booking in September right now. I'm not exactly sure, but I think, yeah, a couple of months out. But what I suggest too is if you, you know, if you'd like to try to come earlier, and I'm sure I'm going to get a million emails saying this, but you can send me an email. And if I do have availability, I'll look at, you know, the schedule and see that. So sometimes I have other opportunities. But I
Wonderful.
do say be flexible if you're going to do that, because I may not be able to be specific with you the date and time.
Wonderful. Great. Great disclaimer, just to be aware. And again, y'all be open, and this is a wonderful opportunity to work with Kathleen in this way. So again, y'all, the link for the special offer is in the chat box. Click in the chat box. It's a 2-payment option, or pay it all at once. And yes, the calls are recorded. So you'll be able to come back to it over and over again, which is such a gift.
Yeah. Well, that's often when you talk about the private sessions, it's not uncommon that I suggest to people, you know, listen to this for, you know, 10 days, 20 days, whatever in a row. And then I tell them, because there's a lot that's happening and the shifts take place within them, because it's also all the work's done in the 0 Point as well.
Beautiful. All right, y'all, this is wonderful. And we've got plenty of time still. So Kathleen, if you're up for it, let's go to more callers.
Sure.
I'm curious. I'm curious what I'm bringing to the collective on the call today. And I'm going to get into some other calls, but I'd love it if you do a reading on me, if you do an energy on me, because again, y'all are immersed on a beyond the ordinary platform where the speakers come in, bringing their energy, and I'm affecting the collective also. So for the sake of whatever is here, just in a very open place, I'm wondering what I can contribute and receive simultaneously as part of my service to today's call.
Sure. Do you have anything specific that you are concerned or connected with, or you just
connecting with? There's a next phase of where I'm landing, and I don't know quite where that is. And with that comes the concerns of resources and how things are evolving. So financial resources to pay for things that want to evolve and grow into. Not sure what I'm stepping into next as far as opportunities around this platform. And a lot of moving around and looking, like a feeling of a need to anchor, but the anchoring not necessarily becoming available in the way that I would have interpreted it.
Yeah.
This is the way to say good morning.
Oh,
And let me see if I can mute whoever.
And you're warm.
There we go.
There we go. Okay. Yeah, so interesting. Yeah, well, that's what I feel in your energy right away is everything you're describing. So you can feel that you do have a massive energy, you know, a really large energy and energetic field, and I can feel that. But I can also feel how there's some holding in a little bit because there's that trepidation. It's kind of like, you know, uncertainty, But what I feel is so much that's wanting to come up from Sophia Gaia, that wants to move through you and really kind of burst out and expand you in a greater way. So, you know, we can do a little bit of that and start to bring some of that in and really just expand that out and kind of, it's almost like break away some of these aspects that you have maybe aligned yourself to, and you know, and it's everything you just talked about. It's like, where's it going to go? What's it going to do? And so we can feel how maybe I'm holding a little bit here because I want to be freer. I want to be lighter, but it has some uncertainty, a little bit of that going on. So I can kind of feel that. And that's pretty much what we're feeling here too, you know, within the energetic. So it's kind of a perfect field. But I think this would be great to go into, of course, not just for you, but for everyone, because it's a great expansion. I can already feel it. So
Me too.
Sophia Gaia wants to bring up, yeah, we have, a new element. It's the diamond blue plasmic flame. So it's the sixth element that's been introduced. And so this is really a huge energy that's coming up, and I can feel that actually moving. What that does is it actually allows us to identify our uniqueness as source, as we're recognizing the oneness as source. And so instead of us like always searching and trying to find who we are and what we want to be, one of the reasons that that's been in place is because this diamond blue plasmic field has not been available for us. And so it's been causing us to not know that you are, who you are as your uniqueness, because you are an unique aspect of source. I'm unique, you're unique. We're like libraries of information of source, and I'm a different one than you. So we don't, when we know that within ourselves, within the collective, we don't have to find who we are. So this is what wants to really be further engaged, and this is what's here now, so it's going to be engaged with everyone. So we want to step in and
Beautiful. Let's step into it. And
Yeah.
the second you mentioned the blue diamond, it's like my
That's
spine went erect. I sat
Yeah.
straight up. There was like an energy and the chill that went through me. So that's amazing. Yes, let's absolutely get into it.
Yeah, let's bring this, because Sophia Guy's doing it anyway, so let's go for it. All right, so let's close our eyes, take some nice deep breaths. Yumangaya lagunzaya layamagom. Yo magamayo yum. Zigaya ngomay So it is, and so it is, and so it is. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Just allowing, so bringing you back into your body. It's above, is below, is below, is above. Inma kashishu makasi teka shum shum kum kum kwat mi asmango ina makasa ka sumashi shushu makata dashu matata ka clearing through all dimensional fields, 1st, 2nd, 3rd, 4th, 5th, 6th, 7th, 8th, 9th, 10th, 11th, 12th. Allowing for the oneness with Sophia Gaia and all elements, earth, fire, air, water, ether, and the diamond blue plasmic flame. To all aspects of self, mental, physical, spiritual, etheric. All timelines, all dimensional fields. Dropping into the heart. Continuing to release all that no longer serves you. Gamatatash u inana inana shunana tatash. Uma katas e sototo minana shunabakas. U I as ala kuma tatatash jishum kapas tatatash minana ira. Uki tanam umamamastis. Ins unkumas tatash. O samatasastu. Manash katash. O just keep allowing, still bringing you back in. We're going to begin to imagine energetic roots coming out your legs, out your feet, wrapping around the crystalline core of the earth. These are crystal clear roots, bringing you into this present moment. That's good. Taking your time, if you're ready, you can open your eyes. Tell me how you feel. John, you're not, your voice is not, we're not hearing you. Something happened to the volume.
How about now? Can you guys hear me?
There you go.
Interesting. The headphones went out.
Yeah, yeah. A lot of energy.
A lot of energy went in. That was amazing. It started with, again, the blue diamond, it's again that lining up and having to sit erect and just like connecting my channel. And then as you started getting into it, I had pressure in my head that I didn't have before. I don't know if it was the mental that was coming in, that was releasing, and the waves of that came in and out I felt the tension, and it relaxed and go into a wave with you. And then the tension would come back a little bit. And then I felt like I was being taken somewhere else. Again, I felt a swirl and an expansion, a swirl and an expansion. And then again, the chills going down my legs. I felt the grounding in and expanding up. That was amazing.
Beautiful. Yay.
Amazing. What was your experience in that? How would you describe it?
Yeah, what I felt was, I felt that the plasmic, the diamond blue plasmic flame coming up, so when I'm looking at, especially in a group aspect, I'm just looking at the field, and so, it's as though almost like I'm seeing the spine sort of, or the central channel of everybody. So I'm watching, the blue flame come up, and then I'm watching it integrate, and depending on who and where, it's so many different levels, but I'm watching it integrate, through just quantum levels of your being, from really teeny tiny speck to massive aspects of self. So I'm just really, I'm experiencing that, and then I'm watching it. I mean, there was just so much light. It was this massive amounts of light, the massive amount of source consciousness, was very present. So it's like dropped in, because I carry, I'm part of the creator gods aspect, my consciousness is beyond this dimensionality. So I just felt that open and just drop in, it's just like this huge source consciousness. And Sophia Gaia just came up and just started sending the codes. And so just like all these geometries and codes and things are just shifting and moving. And, I'm just watching it, and it's very rapid, that's happening on so many multidimensional levels. So I was looking at you, John, and I was watching it just integrating and moving and so on. And then I could look at the edges, and see where, some of those edges just want to let go. And so that's kind of that like letting go, and just letting go of all that no longer serves, and just allowing that, just coming into pure light. So that's what I was watching, just everybody sort of coming into this pure light. And as the toning is, there's so many different consciousness that's there through the sounds and the tones, and we are light and sound, and so it's really just calibrating and integrating. So it's very, if it'd be a great movie if I could like show it of really of what I'm experiencing. It's really hard to quantify, to speak it, in a degree, but it's a lot, and I'm sure you're really feeling it. It was beautiful, it was really profound energy, and I'm experiencing it all as well. Very profound energy.
Amazing. Because I'm aware that I carry that consciousness as well. It's that creator consciousness, very origin oriented.
Yeah.
And
For
it
sure.
doesn't mean that we don't get to be human at the same time, obviously.
Well, and that's the game, right? I always say that, that's been my journey, is figuring out how to wear this human suit, because I came in knowing the multidimensional, but my journey is wearing the human suit. So now I'm actually starting to get fun, because I'm like, oh yeah, I can be this woman, I can have play and have friends and have fun, because I think this is all of us, we carry too much seriousness, and we are very vast and multidimensional and amazing beings of light, and all of you are amazing beings of light, and you've all come here for this ascension now. And so I think we're hitting that place where we've ascended, where we're continuing to ascend, but consciousness is so available now, and the fields are so open that we're connecting, to that. But but it's that cross between that and being the fun and the human, and that this is a big piece of what we're doing here. It's like shedding off all that seriousness, all the stuff that is not us, so that we can discover, have fun, be playful. We're really all just little kids, right, on the playground, and let's just all have fun and be kids on the playground, and just explore, because that's really what we're doing.
Fun. I love your perspective around that and your awareness of what's coming through.
Yeah.
That was fascinating. Thank you so much for doing that for me, and I hope that you all benefited as much as I did. That was so awesome. All right, we still have time for more callers, so let's go to Lucy. Let's go to you now. Welcome, Lucy.
Is that
Lucy,
me?
Yeah.
it's
Is that
whoever's
me?
that.
Yeah.
I think that's you. Yes.
Yeah.
Hi, Cathleena. You obviously know
Hi.
me, and I came from
Hi, Liz.
John. I had my first private session with when Cathleena was last on your show, and I was wondering what was going on when we recently had a private session, and I was we were discussing the relationship with my father, and quite recently after that, I had a good crying session and felt this real need of being rescued and anguish towards my father for not rescuing my mother when she had depression. She committed suicide from depression. But then it morphed. When I'm crying like that, it's brilliant because I'm out of my head. I'm a very heady person, as Kathleen knows. But it morphed into like a feeling of anger, possibly but then I didn't know whether I was going into my mind, but it felt like it was possibly like the patriarchy and like men not being available to be present to people in pain, in suffering, not being able to hold the space of tough emotions. And I don't know whether
Lucy,
that's true.
Yeah, Lucy, I'm curious what your question is for Cathleena.
My question is that, does that feel true? Because I'm not sure whether it was my mind going off on a little story or whether actually I am holding some sort of bigger anger and really obviously wanting to clear it. Any help with clearing it?
Yeah, I'd say for sure. And it feels like, which I think is, kind of underlying to the collective. And I'd say, anger is always the surface emotion of sadness and loss and confusion and so on. And it's really towards source, and I think that's a huge piece that we're playing out in the collective, is that that's the separation piece, and so, yeah, it's just elements of it in your energetic field that are playing out for sure.
Is there anything that can be done to help, clear that false program?
Yeah, well, the 0 point, it's being in the 0 point. That's really the sort of way out of that. One thing I will share this because this is something that's come up a lot. Many of us are very aware of the false matrix that's playing out. And, because we've come into this lifetime and we've come from many, many different lifetimes, we came to usher in the ascension. Many of us have played on both sides of the fence of this, so victim, victimizer, both, aspects. And because that's played out in our energetic fields, we're coming into this lifetime, we've forgotten that, we're pure source. We have the mind telling us that, but we can't feel it. That's why we're constantly playing out that, am I good? Am I not good? Am I this? Am I that? Because having played on both sides of the fence, we maybe, might have abused power in some way. And other times we might have, been abused in another way. So because we've had these experiences that are in our cellular body, there's this, not knowing. And so the way out of that is to drop into the 0 point. That's why it's so important to be in that pure 0 point where you're the observer. Because as you are the observer of this, then you can, have that recognition of what the emotions are in relationship to it. And this just feels, it's a huge piece of what's coming forward with everyone, you know, and it's because we're still, because this false matrix is playing out that whole story that one is good and one is bad, and that's not really truthful in the sense of source consciousness. It's just all experiences.
Beautiful. And Lucy, one thing that you're bringing up for me, and I want to thank you for this, for all of us, because there's like this here, and this thing is here, and I know it's up, and I know that there's this tug of war that's going on within me, and I don't know what to do. Someone please just get rid of it for me, or help me just transmute or clear and delete it. And what I want to bring to all of our awarenesses, including me, first of all, that there's a support system that's helping us to transition through this here in human form and in spirit form as well, in energetic form. Trust that that is there. Without a doubt, it surrounds you. But also the awarenesses, the embodiment of other people who are walking through this, like Kathleen, like myself, like other people on this call, as way showers of what's possible and how to get through. And that's why Cathleena puts these packages together as well. That's why the speakers on Beyond the Ordinary do this. It's about self-empowerment, not someone please take it away from me, while that's happening simultaneous with the compassion, with the love, with the understanding, with the dignity that comes with it. But you're really empowered to transition through this, Lucy. You really are. And just you asking a question, your awareness is like, oh, I'm somewhere I wasn't before. And look, I'm this far ahead. I can make it through the other side. And we don't have to stop in the middle. We may get a little caught as we're going through that slowness. But for me, that's also part of the embodiment of the light and the love that's underneath that density that we feel. And so we're assimilating to the love, that darkness, quote unquote, if you're listening on audio, we assume carries, and we're actually bringing us with us to where we're going next. And so there's a lot here. And from me to you, I feel you, Lucy, and I feel and I can hear you in your voice, and also want to assure you that you've got this. There's so much support, but that you have the key. You are capable of finishing this transition that you started.
Yeah.
And so I'm going to leave you with that.
That's so kind and so helpful. Thank you so much. The rescue me thing is something that I've been playing out big time, and
We all have in different ways.
yeah. So trying to.
Beautiful. Yeah. Thank you.
All right. Thank you, Lucy.
Thank you.
Thank you all both.
I loved your voice at the end of the call, Lucy. That's awesome. I could feel the release. It's so cool. Someone had a session with you yesterday. She's on the call. Eileen, welcome. Was it you, Eileen, that had a session?
Yeah.
I think so.
I had the session Monday.
Monday. Okay, this week. Yeah. Welcome, Eileen.
Hi there.
So what's happened since then, I mean, I listened to it every day as you told me to do, for 10 days. And things are shifting. Yesterday, I don't know what happened, and maybe you can help me with this. I was recording this song that I just finished called An Ode to Melancholy. And I don't know, all of a sudden, the rhythm didn't fit. Something shifted with the movement of the earth or something. I don't know what I don't know what happened, but it just didn't work. So did something shift?
I feel like that things are shifting within you. I think that there's just a much greater expansion. I'm looking at you, I can see your heart is like totally expanding, and and I can see the physical heart expanding, and it's moving up to the high heart, which is where we connect in, and it wants to come through your voice, and it wants to really come through your expression and who you are. And so it's like you have a massive expansion here, and it wants to go a little bit different. So I have a feeling that you're just going to have a different expression of sound and things that are going to come forward, and you may be a little trepidatious about doing that and having knowledge, but that's just what I feel. I feel like it's wanting to come out of you, which is beautiful. It feels like an amazing expression. I feel like it's a lot of like, we talked about the literal, having wear the mask, but it's like blowing that mask off. That's what it really feels like a literal, like an energetic, like, and then so I'm kind of looking at that in your face, in your expression.
Well, I'm just wondering also, would it be too soon for me to schedule another
session? No, I don't think so. I think you could. Sure.
part?
I said no, I don't think so. I think you absolutely could. Sure.
Well, there you go. All right, Eileen. I love what's evolving and going through. This is so wonderful. The link for the special offer, by the way, it's in the chat box again. So y'all, again, we've got the 5, what would you call them? The Hieros Gamos kind of collective.
Activations, yeah.
The 5 activations. They're in the Hieros Gamos for $97. Take advantage of that. So again, the recordings, and again, they bring you to 0 points, so you can come back to them over and over again. Which is so phenomenal. That space that we were in, maybe with Gaia a little bit earlier, and what was expanding there, I can feel that presence of, again, that 0 point and the invitation as to what expands from there. So that was wonderful. And then for another $100, y'all, you have a 15-minute session with Cathleena. So for $197, you get both packages. Again, the private session plus the recordings. It's a 0 point, the Hieros Gamos, the transmissions. And I hope you all take advantage of it. It's why we put these together on BTO, so you can have an experience of Cathleena here, experience of the energy, so you can receive something that you can apply into your life right away. And then as it calls you, if you want to go deeper, it's available. And again, I highly recommend it. So again, I hope you take advantage of it. Again, the link's in the chat box, and we'll send it out in the replay link a little bit later, in the replay email a little bit later. We will replay this call. Give us about an hour, maybe a couple of hours, and we'll have it back up, and you can get back into the transmissions. I know I'm going to. And so the replay link will be in the replay email, or you can always access replays by going to beyondtheordinaryshow.com/replay. Kathleen, this has been amazing tonight. This has been so much energy moving through. I'm curious, what did you find where the call was in the beginning with us as a collective, and what are you noticing now?
Yeah, well, I felt energetically, I felt much more, contraction within many people and the energetics. And now I feel such heart-centered openness, I mean, not that you aren't heart-centered, but it just feels like the expansion of the energetic field. It feels like we are much more as the oneness in the field for sure now, which is beautiful.
And what can we create from there, right?
Yeah. And I hope everybody can really take that and embrace that, because I feel like what's important to say is that, I am a divine mirror for you. So whatever you see in me is in you. So just know that, and know you're an amazing creator being. You are light, you are source, you are energy. I am you, you are me, we're one. And really let that be a part of your beingness. We tell the stories of separation. We tell the stories. So it's just a story. And I'm not making it trite in the sense that it isn't challenging, but just really, own your amazingness as you are.
Allow the amazingness to take over rather than where you think that you're not amazing.
Yeah,
and again, notice I said where you think you're not amazing, because come on, y'all are freaking amazing. Oh, amazing. I love this.
Yeah, absolutely amazing, and know it. Really know it.
Kathleen, thank you so much. Thank you for the generosity of your special offer. Thank you for the generosity and the transmissions on the live call, and for the shifts. It's been amazing. Again, thank you.
And thank you, John. Love you and your audience. Beautiful. Yeah, and everyone. So thank you all so much.
Yeah, and thank all of y'all for your transmissions, for your love, for your yes to expansion, in whatever form that takes. Again, this field has been beautiful.
Yeah.
Today, and I'm in deep appreciation, and with that I bow to each and every one of you, and namaste. Yeah. Have a great day.